Whether you're just starting to sell photos or illustrations, videos, or AI generated images online, I think you could benefit from knowing the 10 things I wish I knew when I started to sell at sites like AdobeStock, Shutterstock, and others nearly 16 years ago. A few of these things you may already know, but stick around to the end because I'll close with a tip that may just give you the biggest edge over your competition. It's the thing that has helped me boost my sales more than anything else, and it's something you can start doing now to make your work really stand out and get downloaded. Number 1, focus on what customers want, not what you want to create. I wanted to create robots and other sci-fi themes when I started. I quickly learned that buyers didn't want the things I had a passion for. I had to decide if I was going to be doing this for personal or artistic fulfillment or to make as much money as I could. I chose to go after earnings, and shifting that mindset was the biggest game changer for me. Maybe you're lucky and the things that you have a passion for are also in high demand with customers, but odds are that's not the case. Decide right now to set aside your own desires to capture or create your own personal favorite things, and make a goal each day to learn about customer needs. But how to do that? I address this in more detail in my other videos, but a few key ways are doing searches on some popular business concepts like success, technology, innovation, or DEI, and sort by downloads to see what's getting bought the most right now. Tracking your own sales to see what's selling, visiting business news and technology websites to learn what are emerging topics the world is talking about right now. These are just a few ideas to get you started, but commit to figuring out what customers need and meeting those needs in ways others aren't. And that leads to number 2. Develop an ability to picture how your image or video will be used by a customer. Who might use it and how? In sales presentations? On a website or in a brochure? These business applications, I learned soon after I started, are where most of my images and videos were being used, and if I couldn't visualize a customer making practical use of my idea for an image or video, I learned not to waste my time creating and uploading it. Always remember that buyers will download your work only if it helps them communicate a point they need to make with their core audience of customers or readers. If your work isn't strongly conveying a certain concept that is in demand, it won't get downloaded. Number 3, speaking of wasting time, don't upload images or videos to every site that will take them. When I started in 2008, there were nearly 20 agencies that would take my work and sell it, or rather make it available for sale. That didn't mean they were all actually selling well for me. After taking the time to apply and upload and jump through all the hoops of these agencies, I realized that there were only about 8 agencies at the time that actually sold well for me. The rest were just a waste of time that could be better spent creating more work and making more money. Over the years, the number of the sites that performed well for me continued to decline, and I didn't hesitate to stop uploading at those that didn't sell for me. Today, the number of sites worth uploading to is just a handful, and I cover those in other videos on my channel. Number 4, figure out some niches and double down on them, but don't cannibalize yourself. Make sure you're finding new spins and styles to cover the themes that sell well for you. Give a buyer a reason to want many of your images or videos. Don't just create interchangeable images. Everything you create should have its own reason to exist and not a duplicate of anyone else's work or your own. Number 5 is along these same lines. Make sure your keywords and titles are unique. About 10 years ago, I thought I had a great idea. I began entering my keywords in a spreadsheet, and when I created new work on a theme I already covered, I copied the keywords from my past work since I felt I could save a lot of time. But after a few years, I realized that this was costing me sales. Even though it does take more time to build my keywords from scratch, at least I know I'm writing a list of different words from the words I wrote on a similar theme a few months or even years ago. This means I have a chance at attracting different customers from one image to the next. Otherwise, again, I'm cannibalizing myself. Keywording is one of the most important steps that you can take to help your customers find you. Don't skimp on this process to save time. Number 6, speaking of saving time, I learned early on that the illustrations and animations I was creating were often much more detailed and complex than they needed to be. I found that my simplest images and videos were often the ones that sold best. All the extra time I was putting into designing or modeling tiny details down to blades of grass was wasted effort. I adopted a new mantra: keep it simple. Number 7 is along the same lines. The perfect is the enemy of the good. Don't strive for perfection. You're going to see a lot of 10-cent commissions. You're not going to be displayed in a museum. This doesn't mean to create flawed work. Make sure you meet all the technical requirements. Aim to create great work always. But don't get caught up in having the perfect angle or lighting or expressions or whatever tiny details you find yourself fixating on. When something is good, wrap it up. Don't chase perfection. Number 8, watch your sales and categorize what's selling so you can easily spot trends. When you think you see patterns in your sales, that certain series or themes are selling better than others, do more research on those themes at AdobeStock by searching the keywords and sorting results by downloads to get ideas from how the top-selling contributors are covering the same topics. Be inspired by what you see, but never copy. Your work needs to stand apart from your competition in some way. Your mission is to convey the subject matter better, or at least differently, than those that are currently selling. Number 9, as you watch your sales and earnings, don't get discouraged by your first weeks or months of selling. It takes time to build up to hundreds or thousands of dollars a month. A YouTube viewer recently shared with me that he had about 450 images on AdobeStock and only earned about $40 a month from those. I told him that that's about the same results in terms of returns per image that I currently have. It's just that my portfolio is much larger. I'm earning about $2,000 a month at Adobe from about 23,000 images and 8,000 videos. This is a numbers game. You need to have a lot of content and content that's in demand to see high earnings. And finally, number 10, a word is worth 1,000 pictures. You've probably heard the opposite of this, but what I mean by that is that I learned early on is that one way to make your work jump off the page of competition is to feature a word or two in the image or video. For instance, if a buyer wants an image to convey appreciation, your image with the words "thank you" could grab the buyer's eye because it says exactly what the buyer is trying to tell his or her own audience. Whether you're doing photography, AI images, or other illustrations, see if you can add stylish three-dimensional or other type of design text to give your work the best chance at standing out. I do this with a lot of my own work, sometimes uploading a version without text and one with text, and almost every time the version with text outsells the version without. Give it a try and thank me later. So those are 10 things I wish I knew sooner. What have been your biggest learnings so far? Share them in the comments, and until next time, I'll see you soon. Are you ready to start earning passive income by selling photography, AI images, or videos online? Want to know what sells and how to sell it? This is the perfect course for you because I'm sharing what I've learned selling images and videos online for more than 15 years. I'll show you the steps I took to figure out what customers really need in photos, illustrations, footage, and now AI images. That's what makes this course different. It's all about exploring what really sells and what doesn't, how to figure out what customers want, the best agencies to sell your work, and much more. This course can help you no matter your current skill level. If you're totally new to selling images and videos online, or if you have some experience and want to grow, here's what you'll learn. How to get an edge on the competition like I did. A list of 100 hot selling topics from my experience. The list of agencies you should join and my tips for success at each one. How you should title and keyword your images and videos to maximize your sales. How to use AI tools like Midjourney and ChatGPT to help you create and keyword images. And many more topics that I believe are essential to understand if you want to sell your work online today. The course includes a free download of my book that details all the topics I cover, with a special section on the leading agencies and what you need to know about each one. The course includes more than 20 modules so you can learn at your own pace. Each section includes golden rules you must follow to succeed, plus actionable steps you can take right away to start selling. Pair these tips with the list of high-selling subjects that I'll share with you, and you'll be ready to upload great images and videos that buyers can easily find and purchase. So I'm going to be arming you with the tools that help me succeed, making this the course to take if you don't just want to learn what stock photography is, but how to approach it like a business and get up and selling quickly. So let's get started.